as it were. Well, at least middle of the work week here in this part of the world. Today's reading is called Intentional Self-Love. If you've not got the message so far, I'm sure you have, about it's all about being grounded and having confidence in ourselves so that we can go out and not just be egoistic or just do stuff for ourselves, but to live a balanced life and to develop ourselves and also to help other people in the bargain. So, whole part of the story. This intentional self-love. First quote is from someone everybody's heard of, Dolly Parton, who says, "Find out who you are and do it on purpose." Find out who you are and do it on purpose. Dolly Parton. And Ernest Holmes says, the word purposefulness might be defined in general terms as the very antithesis of aimlessness. It's the spirit of significance, of importance, of commingling of desire and determination, and inner recognition of the divine urge. Briefly summed up is living life on purpose, right? And that was from the Science of Mind glossary. Yep, it's not only a huge tome, it's got a huge glossary. And this is Robert Michelle. He says, a kind of tick-tock life can take over our days. This kind of life is when you get up, do the things we do, and then go to bed and get up and do the same thing over and over again. It can be a kind of living on automatic. It can be monotonous, and it can also be boring. He says, in this way of living, there isn't much attention given to who I am or whether what I am doing is in alignment with who I am. It's a life of getting done what needs to be done to survive, yet it's not thriving. We may go through a season of living like this or fall into a long period of living this way. One way to shift this is to become more intentional. One of the elements of self-love is self-knowledge. When we know who we are and what we love about ourselves and about life, we can move in the direction of that love more intentionally. He says, take some time today to notice if daily life has become rote. Some questions we can ask might include, what do I love about living? What do I love to do? What do I love about being me? Once you discover the answers to these questions, be sure there is one thing in each day that you do that's in alignment with one of these answers. These are, what do I love about living? What do I love to do? And what do I love about being me? She says, this leads us forward in greater and more intentional self-love. But sum it up, if you want, by saying living life on purpose. And as she says, some people don't. Most of the people I know have got a purpose in life. They've got meaning, but some people just don't. And as I said, we got some friends who seem to go from crisis to crisis. They're kind of living life on purpose, but their purpose is crisis, and that's not really where we should be heading, is it? So once again, I think the reading and what Reverend Michelle is talking about is really pretty simple. It's really saying, to keep discovering more about who we are, discovering more about what we love to do, and then going doing it. I love speaking in front of people. I'm a member of 2 Toastmasters clubs. I occasionally speak at our spiritual center in front of people and other places. So that's one thing I love doing. Reading has always been something I've loved doing, but also helping people has been a big part of my life, throughout my life, from being a kid right through to now. I love helping people, and it's just the way I am, whether it's with my EFT or it's my mediation, it's working as a minister, it's working lots as a friend, as a neighbor, whatever. So I am not going to get preachy. My question to you is, once again, and you've heard it often, what do you love doing? Because as I quoted my late great former mentor, Bob Proctor, and he said, what you love doing may or may not be the way you make your living. But if you can kind of combine those two, and what you love doing is the way you make your living, then you really don't have a job at all. So the bottom line is find out what you love doing. And sometimes it takes a bit of soul searching. And sometimes it takes going to the opposite extreme, saying, what do I not like doing? So anyway. So this is my end of my preaching for today. And if I make this thing a little bit smaller, I can actually read the affirmation. I'm intentional in my choices to be who I am and live in alignment with who I am. I'm intentional in my choices to be who I am and live in alignment with who I am. So our job in life really is to find out what we love doing. And one way we can do that is to find out what we love doing. I firmly believe that our talents are given to us specifically because each and every single one of us can do something that nobody else on the planet can do. And it may only be minutely different from somebody else, but each and every one of us has got something to give to life that nobody else can do. So that's it for today. As I said, my colleague Reverend Lisa will be on Creative Life Spiritual Center's Facebook page tomorrow morning about 9:15. And I believe that, I don't know if practitioner Danielle Mercadal was on with her midweek meditation. She's been a bit under the weather recently. So I've got to check to see if she was actually on with her meditation. And I just want to leave you with this. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Everywhere we are, God is, and all is well. And so it is. Namaste.